I don't know if you've seen yet, but I have my new book out, Sticky Note Retention Tips for Client Loyalty. And there's 30 different sticky note tips in here. And what is a sticky note? You might be asking. A sticky note retention tip. It's a tip that fits on a sticky note, and then we explain it in the book. So there's 30 different tips that will allow you to keep your clients longer and get more referrals, all in this book. And if you check out my profile, you'll see a special $1 offer for a digital download that you can get. And it's really fun. In the back of the book, I actually have a word find puzzle for each of the sticky note tips. And so you could print those out and actually have some fun doing the sticky note word find puzzles. When I actually went through and created the puzzles, I went through and found and highlighted and made sure that all the answers were there. And what I noticed, and what you'll notice if you do it too, is that a lot of the words are used over and over in all the different sticky notes. Some of the words that you're going to become very familiar with if you decide to do retention made simple and help your business actually be able to grow stronger by keeping your clients longer and getting more referrals. You're going to learn the word loyalty. You're going to learn the word gratitude. You're going to learn the word relationship. You're going to learn the word of mouth. You're going to learn connection, community, impact, clients, consistency, celebrate, care, retention, trust, appreciation. And then warmth and personal and emotion and message and authentic. So there are 30 different sticky note tips in here. The book is available on Amazon, but because you're here with me, you can check it out and get the digital download for just $1. So what I wanted to talk about today is we're going to look at the first sticky note tip. I'm just going to give you an example of what it is. And it's this one in particular. See the sticky note there? The 7-day check-in. And so as you build out your retention program, it doesn't have to take a ton of tech time or money, but you're going to want to have certain things in place. You're going to want to be able to know that when you onboard a new client, you do it in such a way that allows you to gather information it's going to help you build in retention on the front end. And so one of those things is you're going to want to do the 7-day check-in. And I'm going to read to you what this says, just so you get an idea of what you would actually be getting in the book. And it says, sticky note number 1, the silent killer, sale anxiety. Most businesses treat the moment the money clears, the sale, as the finish line. They breathe a sigh of relief, celebrate the win, and immediately shift focus to the next prospect. Yeah, it happens. This is a big mistake. In reality, the sale isn't the finish line. It's the starting gun for the client's emotional race. While you're celebrating, your client is silently battling what could be called buyer's remorse. Think back to the last time you made a significant purchase, a piece of software, a high-value course, or a new consulting package. Even if you were 100% committed when you signed, a wave of anxiety likely followed. Did I make the right choice? Will I actually follow through and get results? It's a lot of money. Maybe I should have tried the cheaper option. I haven't heard from them since I paid. Are they too busy for me now? This internal dialogue is a silent killer of retention. When you, the vendor, go quiet, you leave a vacuum. In that vacuum, minor doubts quickly metastasize into major reasons to cancel, fail to renew, or simply just drift away. Silence gives churn a foothold. So, why does 7 days matter? The 7 day check in comes in transforming a psychological vulnerability into a massive relationship win. Why day 7? It's like the Goldilocks timing. It's not too soon and it's also not too late. A check in on day 1 or 2 feels pushy and like you might be trying to sell them something else. But by day 14, frustrations may have already boiled over. They may have quietly given up on using your product or service altogether. Day 7 is the perfect sweet spot. They've just had enough time to get started, encounter their first friction point possibly, but not enough time to let that friction calcify into full-blown frustration. A simple check-in at this moment does 2 very powerful things. Number 1, it anchors the relationship. It's an emotional win. You are proactively demonstrating that the relationship shifted from a mere transaction to an actual partnership. By reaching out without being asked, you're validating their decision and proving your commitment to their success. You are the opposite of silent. You're opposite, I can't read my own words. You are the opposite of silent, indifferent vendors. And the second thing it does, the de-friction experience. It's actually a practical win, not just an emotional win. This is your early warning system that the small friction point could be misunderstood, a misunderstanding of a feature, a tricky setup step, or confusing instruction. Left unaddressed, that tiny annoyance could derail their momentum. By catching it on day 7, you'll solve a 5-minute problem that could have cost you a 5-year client. Making it simple, the check-in toolkit. The beauty of the 7-day check-in is that it doesn't need to be fancy. The power is in the timing and the sincerity, not the production value. The goal is effortless connection. A quick email or a brief call works wonders. A 2-sentence email, it can literally be something that simple. Your check-in should be brief, personal, and focused entirely on their experience. Do not try and sell them something. Do not upsell them, and do not use a generic automated message. It has to be personal. The subject line could say something like checking in on your first week with whatever they purchased from you. And then the message could be, hey there, Sam. I know it's still in the early days, but I wanted to personally check in and see how the first week has gone while you're getting XYZ set up. Have you run into any small questions or friction points yet? I'm here to ensure you're supported and you're on the right path. Simple, easy. The thing is, most people don't take the time to do it because they've already moved on to getting the next client. If you want to do a 30-second voicemail or call script, if you want to call them, hey there, this is Sam from Retention Made Simple. No need to call me back right away, but I noticed you were just wrapped up your first week with us. I just wanted to personally check in and see how it's been going. If anything's unclear or you're stuck on a setup step, just reply to my email or give me a call back. We've got your back. Talk soon. So what I want you to think about, and this is the last section of this chapter, is I call it the loyalty dividend. When you know that you check in after a week of them doing business with you and they begin to feel truly like you're a partner with them, that you are not just another vendor, the loyalty that builds in from the beginning of the relationship is just everything. So think of a check-in like texting after a first date. If you have a fantastic first date and the person goes silent for a week or more, what do you assume? You assume they're just not that into you. You assume the silence means that they got what they wanted and moved on. The same applies to your clients. The small act of a 7-day check-in proves that you're interested in the relationship, not just the transaction. It signals that you are a reliable partner and not just a self-interested vendor. And so in the book, there's a journal page, and you'll get that in the digital download as well. And the next step challenge: pause for 5 minutes and draft your 7-day check-in template. Who in your business will be responsible for sending it, and when will you start? One of the things I know for sure, I just had a podcast this week with my client and friend Jason Bingen, and we were talking about how you could have the best plans, but if you don't have a system to implement them, it's just not going to happen. So make sure you know who on your team is going to do it and when it's going to be done, and have it be part of the system. Because if you don't have a system, I promise you, it's not going to happen. I would love to answer retention questions, find out what's been working, what hasn't worked, and how I can best support you, because I truly believe that we as small business owners, entrepreneurs, founders, we spend so much time in the hustle game on the treadmill of continuing to try and get more clients, that if we truly just spent a little bit of time, energy, and money on keeping our current clients longer, we would not have to be on the hustle treadmill so much. One of my favorite examples of this is, imagine you have somebody paying you $500 a month for your service, and that you can add zeros or take away zeros. I hear Alex Hormozy say that all the time. And so make it relative to you. So if you charge something that's $5 or $50,000 or more, whatever the thing is, but for easy math in my brain, someone's paying you $500 a month for your service, and they typically stay with you for 3 months. You just made $1,500. But what if you were able to get that same client to stay for 9 months instead of 3? You just made an extra $3,000 without having to do any more marketing, no more chasing, no more getting a new client. They're gonna, by getting them to stay longer, it can add up that quick. And so think about over the course of a quarter, if you have 10 clients that only stay 3 months instead of 9 months, that just cost you $30,000. I don't know about you, but I'd like to keep that money in my business. And also, when someone leaves you, not only do you leave the revenue that you would have made from them, but you also lose the potential referrals that they would have given you. So there is so much value to keeping your clients longer and getting more referrals. One of the things I'm working on right now personally is making sure I drink 4 of these a day of water. This is my 3rd one. And I'm on a quest to do it every day for a year. And so we're already at February 13th, and I've done it every day so far. So I'm pretty proud of myself about that. So if you look in my profile, you'll see the option to be able to take me up on my $1 ebook offer. And when you're able to keep your clients longer and get more referrals, your business will just be better. One of the things that I was talking with Jason about on the podcast this week, and if you go and search Retention Made Simple on any of the podcast platforms or even YouTube, because it's there as a podcast as well, it'll come up and you can listen to them. So far, there's 6 episodes out there. I record live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. and I go live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And then I pull that down and put it on the podcast channel. So you can watch us live, or you can get it on any of your favorite podcast channels. But one of the things Jason and I were talking about is how when you give someone something as an act of appreciation, that it really needs to be about the person you're giving it to, not about you. And so make sure you're doing something that actually they will appreciate if possible. Retention Made Simple, the process that I teach, there's a 3-part system. Step 1 is having proper onboarding. If you if you can't do anything else of what I teach, but you can only do the proper onboarding, just that one thing will help set your clients up to stay longer. So proper onboarding is critical. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. The second thing is making sure you show appropriate appreciation. And you can do this on any budget. I actually, in my program, I teach $0 ideas. So $0, you can actually show appreciation and it doesn't have to cost you anything. Step 1, onboarding. Step 2, appropriate appreciation. And then step 3 is the part that most people I get pushback on, because most people are like, oh yeah, I can do better on onboarding. Oh yeah, I can do better than just saying, Merry Christmas with a $10 Starbucks gift card or whatever. So they know that they can do those things better. Excuse me. But step 3 is the part where people start to push back. And what it is, you have to be willing to ask for feedback. When you ask for feedback, you have to respond. If someone gives you feedback, good or bad, you have to respond. And what I have found is if someone gives me feedback and it's not like 100% okay, and they actually give me some constructive feedback or criticism, especially if they're right, and I say, hey, I need to know more about this. I'd like to know, can you tell me more about this? And you actually dig in to find out what's going on. And then you make a change based on what they suggested. That's going to build in loyalty that nothing else can. And so if one of your valued clients actually gives you feedback and says, this didn't go so well, or this could have been improved, make sure you pay attention. Don't just pay attention to the good stuff. We all have people that are willing to pat us on the back, right? We need the people that are willing to tell us the truth so that we can make things better. And then when we do, make sure to tell them. One of the things that I do for my women's community is I host virtual retreats periodically. And I do ask for feedback after them. And one of the times I was doing the retreat, and I thought, okay, everybody, they're grown. They'll know to get up and go to the bathroom or get a drink of water, go grab food. And so I just continue teaching and going. And at the end of it, on the feedback, one of the women was like, it would have been really good had you given us like a bio break, right? And so when I hosted the retreat a couple of months ago, this woman was on the retreat again. And I said, y'all can all thank her, because at the top of the hour, every hour, we're going to take a 5-minute bio break. Everybody can go get more water, go to the bathroom, do whatever you need to do. And so when you're able to take that feedback and actually make things better, you cannot buy that loyalty. And so as you're growing your business and you get clients who you want to keep longer, there's a very simple process of being able to make that happen. And you build it in from the beginning of the partnership. And so onboarding, you want to make sure you're gathering the right information. Make sure that you're making it easy for the people to stay with you. If you do a 3-month agreement kind of thing, I mentioned the $500 for 3 months. That's a real example because I was working with a coach where I paid $1,500 for 3 months. And at the beginning, I had a great experience with the onboarding process. Everything was good. I got some personal attention. And then I showed up for the coaching things. I got what he promised, right? It was delivered to me. But at the end of my 3 months, he never said, hey, are you going to stay? Do you want to continue? And so I just left. He didn't make it easy for me to stay. He never asked me what I was going to do. And so he he might have been able to keep me, but he didn't. And so what I would suggest in that kind of situation, if you have a 90-day program the onboarding process that I teach is spread out over 90 days. You would probably condense that a little bit and maybe make it over 60 days. And one of the feedback points that you would include in your onboarding process would be asking them, based on your current experience, do you plan to continue and would you like to schedule a call, or just however you want to word it, so that it's in their mind before day 90 and they're done, and then no conversation has happened around them continuing or not. So making it easy for someone to say yes. They've already said yes once. They're your client, right? And so we have to make sure we're making it easy for people to continue. And the onboarding part of that and having the onboarding done properly really does matter. So if you have retention questions or you want to have me answer a question, I would be glad to do that. I'll also consider reading. Like today, I just read the first tip. I may read other chapters from the book to where you can get a little bit of an experience of what the book is. So there's 30 different topics in here, and each one, the tip is small enough that it fits on a sticky note, and then we dig into it to actually talk about what you do, why you do it, and then there's a space in here as well for you to be able to write down your notes and have an action step, because learning without implementation is like having a screen door on a submarine and it just doesn't work. And then I also built in some fun at the back where it has the word fun puzzles in the back.